Click, click, boom. What is going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from Nothing But Niners crew. And guys, we are here for day 5 of March Madness at midnight. I know it is officially the 9th here on the East Coast. All right, but it is the 5th day of March Madness. That means that I have met all of my prerequisites. I've met all of my requirements for the double time. So we may be here for just 15 minutes today. I want to start with a birthday shout out. Now, some of y'all out there know, some of y'all may not know already, but there is this very, very special lady in my life, in the life of my homie Ali. All right. Her name is Nisha. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to put your hands together for Nisha. It is her birthday. Happy birthday, Nisha. We love you. Birthday shout out to Ali's mother. All right. Elias, what's up, my brother? We love you. We love your mom beats. Happy birthday to her. All right. All right. Enough of the round of applause. Let's play some horns for her. Where's my DJ horns at? Where they at right there, man? There they go. Yeah, that's how we start in today's episode. High energy, good vibe. And now, oh shit. Okay, one more time on the horns. Okay. That's it. Now, let's get to the questions. All right, here we go. And cheers to Miss Nisha. As always, we love you here on Nothing But Niners. Okay. Danny starts to show off here with the first question of the evening. What do you think of people who don't put their shopping carts where it belongs? I think that sometimes those people could just be in a rush, right? I would say about 75% of the time, I put my shopping cart in the designated area. If I'm closer to the building than I am the cart return, I'll walk it over to the cart return. But there are just some times where I'm in a rush, and that cart just gonna have to stay where that cart is at, bro. I'll put it. So if you're parking in the parking lot and you got the spots that are kind of, like you got 4 spots here and 4 spots here, and they end up being stacked like this, where you're parking facing another car, I'll put it in the little like corner section so everybody can park. Sometimes I'll pop it up on the curb and push it out the way where the parking spot's not restricted. But that's, again, like 25% of the time, man. For the most part, man, I'm not kidding when I say 75%. It's probably more than, probably like 80% of the time, I put the cart back where it goes. But I always feel like a piece of sugar honey iced tea when I leave the cart somewhere other than where it's supposed to be. I do feel bad. I really, really do. I feel like I just littered or something, And then I started thinking about it. And I don't know what state you all live in, right? I know a lot of you people are from California, but I'm out here in Pennsylvania now. I won't speak of Pennsylvania, but I know New Jersey, I know Delaware, the surrounding states, right? Their minimum wage is over $17 an hour. So there's somebody out there making $17 an hour at least to grab that cart. Man, I'm trying to be nice. Forget your feelings. Go get the cart and push it inside. Because when I was working at the grocery store, it was $5, $6 an hour. So I don't want to hear sugar honey iced tea. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. I don't want to hear the complaints about you having to walk and not get all the carts out the cart return slot. Get them for wherever they at. And they have this electric thing where you just stack them all up, and it's like a little like they just pull the little trigger and it pushes all the carts. They're not even using real muscle no more. Man, miss me with the cart. I'm taking the shopping cart, and I'm taking it 4 stores down. And now you done pissed me off, and now I got beef with all the local shopping cart return guys. See, look what you did, Danny. You done started some shit you didn't need to. Do you think Jonathan Allen would be a good fit for the 49ers? I know his overall grade was a 48. I do think he would be a good fit for the 49ers. Jonathan Allen was a guy battling some injuries. And I think they wanted to do a couple of things with him that he wasn't maybe comfortable with. I think that he can come here, and I think that he would be put in a better situation. I don't know if it looks like we're going to retain Chris Kocurek. And Kocurek seems to know how to work okay with veterans. I know that grade of 48 won't be the same. He's going to be healthy, ready to bounce back, ready to come in and hit the ground running. So Jonathan Allen should definitely be a defensive tackle the 49ers are eyeing in this free agency period, okay? Omar602, what's going on? He says, what made you start YouTube? By the way, guys, this is the March Madness show. For anybody out there watching, type your questions, submit your questions. I will answer your questions for the next 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if they're about football, about 49ers, about personal life. It does not matter. You can ask anything you want. You type the question. I will read and answer with 100% honesty. He says, what made you start YouTube? Nick, some of you guys were here from the very beginning. We started this thing in 2017. I had a podcast that I thought was pretty successful. We had sponsors. We had players on. We had beat writers on. This is before anybody could just apply to be a beat writer, right? Like this was when, never mind. I don't want to like diminish anybody. That's not what I'm trying to do. But this was when it was a lot harder to get credentials and press credentials and things like that. So there weren't a lot of people. So we talked to guys like Matt Mayoko and Matt Barrows before he went to The Athletic. And we had guys like Grant Cohn on and all that. We had players on the podcast, right? And the podcast, we made a lot of connections. And then when I started saying I wanted to get players and people on, the guy who owned the name 49ers Gab was like, yeah, I don't want to lose the network I've built, so I don't want you doing that. I was like, damn, I was a little disappointed. But I kept going because my passion was talking about the Niners. I didn't care if it was a visual thing. I wanted to get my voice out there. I wanted someone to cover the 49ers that was more than just NFL Network over here for my East Coast people. I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I started the podcast. And then I get this email one day from this guy. I don't even remember what his email address was at the time, but Nick said something about, hey, Mike, I want to start my own 49ers podcast. Can you help me out? And I was like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll shout you out on my show and I'll give you some pointers and blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, I want you to do it with me. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do your first show with you. I'll help you out. Like, he's like, no. I want to do a show and you be my partner in that. And I want you to do it with me the whole time. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know. I already got a podcast going. I would hate to start over. We were getting a couple thousand streams and all that. Like, it was pretty good. And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I really need to do that, Nick. And then he's like, oh, come on. And Nick was very, very persistent. Fast forward, he convinced me. And he was like, we should do YouTube. He said, there's one guy out there right now on YouTube covering the 49ers. And I think he's like in Japan or something like that. And his name is Rombo. Shout out to Rombo Sports. And when we started, to my knowledge, Rombo Sports was the only other person covering 49ers on Twitter. I'm sorry. And Chuck C. McCarver Jr. I believe Chuck had a page as well. Now, Chuck was doing his thing, but he wasn't as consistent as Nick and I were. But yeah, so shout out to the OGs, the OGs of the OGs, huh? But we're here, and it was all on Nick, man. Nick was the guy that got us started. Daniel Garcia posted the next question. He says, what up, Niner fam? What up with you, man? What up? Danny is again back. He says, what are you doing? Oh, what are you going to do for the draft? Is Tony going to be with you? Listen, you guys already know how we get down, man. All right? I go out. I rent this big-ass suite, couple bedrooms. We be having the ladies come through. No, I'm kidding. We don't ever. My wife is the ladies that come through. Sometimes my daughters, they go to the pool. Tony and I do the shows. I am reaching out to the guys right now. My guys, Tony, of course, I believe Tony's going to be there, though. Wayne, NY to the Bay. I'm going to talk to all my guys and see if they're interested in joining for the actual day, like in person. We'll have plenty of space for everybody who wants to sleep over or whatever. I would like us to do it in person. All right. So we'll see. Maybe I have some surprise people pop up on the show. But we are going to be covering the draft. We cover the draft every single year. We were born in the draft. Nothing but Niners started in the draft, and that's how we're going to end this thing too. All right. So we're going to definitely be there. Mark says, what's up, OG? How's your weekend been so far? Hey, man, so far, so good. I raced home. I didn't know if I was going to get home in time. My buddy invited me out tonight. Normally, you guys know that on a Saturday night, I'm out with my OGs. I'm having cigars. We're playing spades, watching boxing, UFC, whatever's on TV. But tonight, I had my nephew's birthday party. And then after his party, my homie invited me out to watch the Lakers and Celtics game. Lakers Celtics was on, UFC was on. So we hit up Buffalo Wild Wings, him and one of his boys, met us over there. We had a pretty good time. The game ended. I asked for the check. I had to order something for my wife. You know, you can never go out. You got a wife. You guys have been married as long as we have. If you're going somewhere, you got to get whatever it is that your wife wants and bring it home. So you order it at the very end. So that way it's as fresh as it could possibly be by the time you put it away in your refrigerator if she's asleep already. But it's got to be as fresh as possible. Don't order that shit when you first get there and you're going to be there for 3 hours. Don't do that. That's rude. Have her food just sitting out, you know, just getting stale for 3 hours. Don't do that. You order it when you're leaving so it's fresh. So we ordered the food, and I didn't know if I was going to get home by 12 o'clock. I thought I might be doing an in the whip version, you know. We might have been kicking it Kia style, but I made it home, knock on wood, and now we're having a successful show. But my weekend so far has been great. It was my nephew's birthday party. Happy birthday, Jonah, as well. My man is 16 now. Growing up fast, man. My babies are growing up fast, all right? Mega says here, and I quote, will Nick make a return? You guys got to stay tuned. I'll tell you this. I say I answer everything as honestly as possible. If Nick was going to make a return, I wouldn't tell you guys. I would want it to be a surprise. I will tell you this much, though. I have been in communication with Nick a lot more these last couple of months. We have found a way to text each other, and it's been pretty good so far. I think Nick is. I think I won't speak for him, but I think he's in a good spot. Again, I said it last night. He recently got married. I follow his mom on Facebook. I don't know if I follow Nick on Facebook, honestly. I don't know. And it's not a knock. I just don't use Facebook that much. But every once in a while, I'll see her pop up on my feed. And like I said, I've been cordial with Nick. I've been texting Nick. And we have had some good sports talks these last couple of months. And then we just kind of get back out, and I'll hear from him when I hear from him. Last night, I almost called him live on air. I picked up the phone, started to dial, and I was like, wait a minute. My man might be asleep. It's after midnight. It's very rude. I don't know his wife. But who the hell is calling me this time of night? Mike? Who the hell is Mike? It's not the same. Nick can call me, and my wife would be like, oh, it's Nick. Cool. My wife knows Nick. Nick's wife may not know Mike. So it's not the same thing. I didn't want to mess it up. But I did text him and say, yo, I almost called you. I almost called you live on the air. And he responded. And I'm not going to tell you what that response was, but you guys got to stay tuned to find out if Nick is going to make a return. Rob D, what's going on? He says, are you doing another 24-hour show draft day? And will the hair bag make another appearance? Oh, shit. You remember that, huh? Tony almost lost it. Okay, so I don't believe I'll be doing a 24-hour show on draft day. Now, could we? Absolutely. But it would probably have to be like a day 3 of the draft where the Niners have their most picks. We're covering it all and going through the pressers and the introductory things and all that stuff. But YouTube frowns upon 24-hour streams. So I highly, highly doubt I will ever do another one again. Not that I don't have the energy, the vigor, the commitment to do it and bring it to you guys. I think YouTube will look down on that. All right. But I can promise you this. There will be more than 24 hours of coverage of the NFL draft during that weekend. How's that? Nothing but Niners. I guarantee you will be live for more than 24 hours during the weekend of the draft. Cool? Cool. And will the hair bag make another appearance? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. Listen, I'm not sorry about that. I've got very long hair since last year. My hair has gotten even longer. I don't know if you guys can see this stuff, but it's long, man. I've got some real, this is all my shit. And so during the draft, I had gotten in the pool a couple times and needed to wash the chlorine stuff out my hair. And my hair's too long, it's too thick, it's locks. So I can't just take a blow dryer and in 5 minutes my shit is done. No, like this one lock is hundreds or thousands of hairs, right? So you gotta really take this shit and dry it. So I have this little bag system that I take all my hair and I drop it inside this big bag, and then the end of the bag attaches to a long tube, and at the end of that long tube is a blow dryer. And then my hair in the bag inflates with hot air that dries all of my hair. And so that's what I have to do in order to dry my hair. And I suggest that everybody who has locks goes out and gets one of those bags because, man, oh, man, it is a hair and lifesaver and a time saver as well. Go get one of those bags. It's fantastic. If you guys out there have ever had locks or long hair, if you know anything about long hair, the longer it is, the longer it takes for the ends to dry. Gravity works, and hair in the water takes itself down. It goes down. And so the ends are always the last things to dry. Well, that bag, the heat's coming from the bottom, working its way up. So it's fighting it double time. I'm telling you guys, that bag is great. It may make an appearance. I don't know. We are over the 15-minute mark. Let me see how many more questions we have left. All right. I'm going down to the bottom. All right. I see Davey as the last comment. So once I get to Davey, that'll be it. Kyle is on again. He says, do you think the 49ers will give Dre Greenlaw a new contract? Do I think they will? No. Do I hope they will? Yes. All right. Who are you with? Nobody is here with me right now. I'm by myself now. I didn't make it home in time. My wife is asleep. How did you become a Niners fan? I became a Niners fan because I'm stubborn, Briz. My mom is a Cowboys fan. My dad is a Giants fan. When I was young, there was a playoff game that was on. I don't remember which team the 49ers were playing against, but I do know that the one team was wearing blue. And everybody in the house was cheering for that team wearing blue. It could have been Cowboys, could have been Giants. I don't know which one it was. And this was late 80s, by the way. I was born in 83, so I was barely old enough to even know what the hell football was. And I made a comment along the lines of, you guys are being mean to the red team. Like, someone should be cheering for the red team. And my mom made a comment along the lines of, well, if you feel that way, why don't you become a fan of that team? Oh, well, Mom, you ain't got to say nothing but a word. And ever since then, it's been 49ers gang, baby. I didn't get this tattoo when I was, 4 or 5 years old, but I've been Niners gang since then, baby. I had a stepbrother who was also a 49ers fan, so he helped me. Shout out to Hakeem. Love you, bro. He was also somebody who guided me towards the 49ers, and I've been here ever since. All right? Ain't no fake in my blood, baby. That thing is chewing through. All right, Omar says here, you're going to watch the Alex Pereira fight. Maybe. I don't know. I am not a UFC person. I am a boxing person. But if it's on, baby. I'll watch it. Mark says here, if Jed gets more involved and gives Parag more power, how long until Kyle gets fed up? I don't think Parag and Kyle cross paths often, if at all. Parag is a dollars and cents guy. Kyle is an input guy. They give Kyle the roster. And Kyle looks at the roster and says, I want this guy based on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is an absolute must-have. 1 is he can be gone and I wouldn't know the difference. And Kyle fills that form out. That is the extent of Kyle Shanahan's involvement with contract negotiation, ladies and gentlemen. This bullshit story from Mike Silver is absolute nonsense. What you guys are seeing right now, all these rumors are the results of the Niners trying to sell 10% of the team and they need extra cash. And it's like, well, why do they need extra cash? What's going on? Oh, well, Kyle's spending too much money with his buddies. You guys cannot tell me a single time that Kyle Shanahan has walked into a room and said, give this player X amount of dollars. It doesn't work. I do believe that Kyle's gone into a room and said, this is a must-have player. Don't let him leave this building. That's it. As far as dollars and cents, though, I don't think Kyle Shanahan, I know for a fact Kyle Shanahan does not negotiate dollars and cents. I don't give a fuck what anybody out there says. He does not negotiate dollars and cents, period. Every head coach in the NFL can walk into a room and say, this player is a must-have. You're going to live and die by that player, by the way. You are going to live and die by that player. Okay? Lynch is going out and said we weren't going to draft C.J. Beathard as high as we did, but Kyle said he had to have him, and I knew I would sleep better if I traded up and got C.J. Beathard that night. And he did it. That was a must-have for Kyle Shanahan. Did it work out? Absolutely not. But that guy was a must-have. Did he say you got to get him with this pick? In fact, Kyle tried to talk him out of getting him at that pick and said, I think he'll be there when day 3 starts. But Lynch didn't want to do that. The same shit happens with these players in the contract negotiations. Kyle, how bad do you want them? On a scale of 1 to 10. 8 means we'll try our best, but we could lose him if someone else outbids us. We have a hard number. 10 means if there is a number, we beat that number by $1. If he leaves, it's going to be because he wants to, not because we didn't offer enough. Shit happens. Kyle has nothing to do with the dollar amount. I promise you guys that. And then the next question is, would Lynch follow him wherever he goes? Absolutely not. I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan should go their separate ways after their venture here at the 49ers. I think John Lynch has solidified himself as a top 10 GM in the NFL. I think Kyle Shanahan has solidified himself as a top 10 coordinator in the NFL. Is he a top 10 head coach? I don't know. He's gotten to the dance a couple times. He's up there. But if I really sit back and go through, and by the way, I don't just to say, oh, you won a Super Bowl, so you're ahead of Kyle. I'm not that guy. I don't think that Sean McVay is a better head coach than Kyle Shanahan. And Sean McVay had the Super Bowl when Kyle Shanahan does not. But I do believe that Kyle Shanahan is very close to the top 10 of NFL head coaches. I do believe that John Lynch is a top 10 GM in the NFL. And the best thing for both those guys may be to separate themselves from the other person. I think John Lynch can get along with and work with anybody in a room that he walks into. I cannot say the same for Kyle Shanahan. How far are we behind the Eagles? We aren't at all, Davey. I think we are ahead of the Eagles. The only thing that stops the 49ers from being more successful than the Eagles is health and attrition. If our 49ers are healthy, we smoke the Eagles 4 times on Sunday and every other day of the week too. Mike, that bum Grant Cole stole my girl. She's 253 pounds and needs serious dental work, but I love her, damn it. This wasn't even the question. I don't know why I clicked this shit. As long as you've been a fan, do you see Kyle leaving on his own terms like Sean Payton, or does he get fired? Kyle Shanahan's going to get fired. Whoa, that sounds crazy. Don't clip that up and send that out. Kyle Shanahan is not a quitter. And so there is no situation where Kyle Shanahan is going to be like, man, fuck it, I'm out of here. There is no situation where that happens. There's one situation where that happens. Jed York goes to Kyle and says, Kyle, I love you, man, but you got to let me know if you're in this thing 100%. Can you focus on the things I'm asking you to focus on? And if you can't, I need you to step away. There'll always be a place for you to come back. But if you can't do what you need to do to put us in the best position, I need you to step away. That is the only scenario where I can see Kyle quitting. But as far as, oh, man, we've had 5 losing seasons back to back and nobody wants to fuck, Kyle Shanahan is not a quitter. There is nothing about Kyle's demeanor or personality that says he's a quitter. He is definitely more likely to get fired than him quit. All right, man. I think that's it, guys. That's it. Was it hard to get 49ers merch out east in the 90s? Yo, I'll be honest with you, man. I've been a Niners fan since the late 80s. I got my first piece of 49ers apparel in 2000. What year did Bryant Young retire? That was the first jersey I ever owned. I got it in Bryant Young's last year. He was the last player of a Super Bowl winning team on the team, and I needed to get that jersey. I believe it was Bryant Young, or did I get Alex Smith first? No, I got Bryant Young for sure because it was before he retired. I got a Bryant Young jersey, but yes, it is hard to get 49ers merch out here on the East. Well, it was back then. This was before online shopping. The Niners, the internet wasn't the internet the way it is now. Amazon in the late 90s, I believe, was just a bookstore, right? I think it was just a for school, for books and shit like that. So it wasn't quite what it is now. There was no fanatics and shit like that. So it was really, really tough to go out and get merch for people that were outside of your local area. All right. Listen, guys, this is supposed to be 15 minutes. I gave you guys 25. I love you all. I'm going to get up out of here. And if y'all are new to this area, if you have just stumbled across this show, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I saw a couple of new names out there. If you did enjoy, please like, please subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the duration in the remainder of the month of March. I will be going live every day at midnight to bring you guys at least 15 minutes of Q&A. You guys can ask about anything. Ask me about football, ask me about my personal life, ask me about my favorite foods, ask me about my favorite movies, shows, and sitcoms. I don't care what it is, but ask your questions, and I'm going to answer them as honestly as I can. All right? I'll see you guys soon. And again, happy birthday to my nephew, Jonah. And happy birthday, and blah, 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 blah. And happy birthday to Nisha. All right? We love you all. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey. See, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but niners. Nothing but niners.